name's Neil. I'm from Aberdeenshire originally. First came to Orkney about 1964 with my parents. Then about 1972, the student friend of mine. They've been coming up for the past 15 years because just like coming to Orkney, because it's peaceful. And why we're here today is because of peace, basically. It's just good to see people, standing up to what's happening in a very non-violent way. And that's about it, really. And I just like the way Orkney's kind of embraced this movement as well as lots of other parts of the country. Like I live in Exeter, and there's similar vigils in Exeter each fortnight and on a Wednesday.
I came for 2 years.
Yeah, I think. So that's about it. But it's just the way the world is at the moment. It's just so awful. It's just terrible. And this is one of the good, positive signs that people actually care about things. And it's not a question of big politics or anything. It's just people saying it's wrong. And it's as simple as that.
Right.
So thank you very much for...
Okay.
My name's Anna. I'm from Ireland. I'm from Belfast in the north of Ireland, and I am here just visiting. But saw the Palestine flags. Of course, we had to come show our support and solidarity. It's incredible that you are here every single week. I really commend it. And there's so many people here. It's a great turnout. I track flights of U.S. military flights that go into Irish airspace, and whether or not they land, what resources they use, why they're there, and where they go, and the majority go to either Palestine or Iran at the minute, and so I can say that I've seen evidence that these protests are absolutely necessary, and it's good to see them happening everywhere.
You were telling me very interesting about your tracking of flights going into there.
Yeah, so if you track every flight, you come across patterns, and so you can tell, you can see where they go from America, and there's usually about 3 or 4 airports that are most concentrated, and then they stop in either Aldergrove or Shannon before stopping in Ramstein, which is interesting. They don't go straight to Palestine, but very often they stop in Ramstein, which says a lot about what's happening there in Germany. And so we can see a link that hasn't been talked about. But if you look at the patterns, you can discover things that they're not telling you.
Like what sort of things?
Well, I mean, obviously you can't say for sure, but stuff like how that means it's very likely that there's weapon manufacturing going on there, and that they're picking stuff up. You can also tell by the type of plane whether it's a stratotanker or a jet, and so that can tell you even more of whether they're going there to transport stuff to Palestine or they're going there to bomb Palestine. And I would also say, just to add, is that the reason that we do that we'd be so interested in it in Ireland and why we're so committed to it is because we relate to the genocidal struggle. And you can see the overlap of why people are so pro-Palestine in Ireland, and also with what's happening in Iran is quite highly linked, that they also have a right to defend themselves against the US and Israeli apartheid regime.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming today, and I'd like to especially welcome our visitors from Ireland and Scotland and England who've all come up on holiday today and are joining us. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your visit to come and be with us today. As everyone knows, tomorrow is Mother's Day here in the UK. So today we are displaying the faces posters of some of the women and girls who've been killed in Gaza. Now this week, Amnesty has published a report about the state of women and girls in Gaza and how they are suffering since the last few years. They are experiencing great difficulty in accessing health care, medicine, natal care, Their children are not being fed properly. There's no access to water, fuel. Amnesty has also highlighted that most people in Gaza are now displaced and living in temporary shelters. They are not able to get even tents, so they're just sleeping under fabric that is not suited to the weather there. So if you get a chance, check online for Amnesty's report, because it's very comprehensive and does focus on women and girls. Now, this week, you may know also that the Academy Awards are on tomorrow, and one of the films that is up for a Foreign Film Award is The Voice of Hind Raja. And that's the little 6-year-old girl who was killed in Gaza in the car with her relatives. And the 2 ambulance workers that went to save her were also killed. So her mother was interviewed by Amnesty International this week. And I'd just like to read one of the comments that her mother said. Her mother's name is Wessam Hamada, and she said, "I want to keep Hind's voice alive because hers is the voice of all of the children of Gaza." So she's very brave, being able to speak about her daughter who died in such tragic and horrible circumstances, but she's making the effort to keep her story alive, which is a very remarkable thing to do. So I would just like to say thank you so much for coming out yet again. I think we've been doing this for over 100 weeks, so we will keep coming back. Brian has his Zaytun Palestine Fair Trade products here again today. So again, it's just a small way that we can show our support to the people of Palestine and keep them, in some sort of, economic way of making a living. So, yes, finally, one reminder. Thank you very much. 2 weeks from tomorrow, today, 2 weeks today, the 28th of March, Brendan Stevens, who lives down in Highland region, is coming up to Orkney to talk about his experiences in the West Bank of Palestine-occupied territory. He was just there again in September. He's been there multiple times. He'll be giving an illustrated talk 8 o'clock in the St. Magnus Center on the 28th. But before that, we are going to have a social event, which is a bring and share supper, which is open to everyone. That will be starting at 6 o'clock. We expect to be eating about 6:30. Just bring a dessert, a main course, something to share with everyone. And it'll be just a nice opportunity to get together. And as someone just said to me today, in the warmth, and we won't have 20 layers on. We can actually see what we all look like. So, thank you very much again. Hope to see you next week and at the event on the 28th. Thanks very much.